Hmm?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I entered in the spirit world in a whole different house. When I get there, it's a girl holding a blanket. I asked her why was she holding the blanket. She said this is what saved my sister's life. I said, what do you mean? She said this is what saved my sister's life. I said, what is your sister's name? She said that's not important. I said, well, it is important if you're here to send me a message or are you trying to cross over? She said both. I said, okay, so who do you want me to send a message to? Then she said, well, your daughter, your stepdaughter. I guess she knows, she knows Shayla's,
Mm-hmm.
She said, I just want you to give a message to my mom, my sister, and Chevy. I said, I don't know Chevy. I don't know who your mom is, and I don't know who your sister is. She said, what Jayla does. She said, that's all that matters. I said, okay. I said, so you saved your sister in the burnt blanket. She said, well, since you can see everything, why not just show you? So she takes me. It's not a real big hallway, but it's like probably like the distance of this hallway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a door to the kitchen where you can close the kitchen off from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's another door where it goes up the steps. So we go through the door, not where it shuts the kitchen off, but goes up the steps. But then she takes me to the room where I guess the fire was at. At least that's what I thought. She said, no, this is just where we died at. She said, but it started off her mom was heating up a baby bottle on the stove and the electric wiring from the stove. Like it had caught on fire, but her mom got out. But because the door, when she closed it from the kitchen, where it's two doors to the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
the mom got out the one side of the door. But where the door was is right by the kitchen where the stove
Mm-hmm.
is at. So the stove, when it caught on fire, she couldn't get them out. The mom just kept screaming and screaming. I don't know to see the mom's face because I know now when the people haven't died, I don't see their faces. I just see, basically what happens. Like the same thing with George. I never seen his face, but I can hear him come up the stairs, and I can hear him opening the door. But as soon as his face is trying to appear, I come back. But the mom was able to get out, but the fire had got so bad it was starting to burn up the house. So the heat, ventilation, because she ran to find her sister. She heard her mom say the house is on fire, get out. So she went to find her sister. But when she went to get her sister, the fire had got bigger, and she couldn't get out. That was the only way to get out of the fire. She couldn't get out because of the simple fact, like I said, the fire was blocking the
Mm-hmm.
doorway, and the mom couldn't get. They didn't have no fire extinguisher or nothing in the house to help the fire go out. So when the heat ventilation was rising more and more, she took the blanket and wrapped it around her sister so that her sister could have a more better chance of breathing,
Mm-hmm.
so that she wouldn't, catch what's the stuff? You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, but while she was holding her sister in this position, like she was bearing over her so she didn't smell the stuff as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it had got worse. The house was, like I said, was starting to burn. And when it reached to the room that they was in, the heat and ventilation had stopped her from breathing. So she ended up having a heart attack. So when she when she was like this, because she didn't have nothing protecting her,
Mm-hmm.
so she had to breathe in all that heat, ventilation. But it was so hot, it was like her body had got steamed. And I know what she said, my body just steamed. She said the feeling was so crucial. She said, you know how much then that's what really messed me up. She said, you know how when you got burned? I said, well, how do you know when I got burned? She said, because in the spiritual world, everything that the person that we've talking to, we know about what's happened in your whole entire life, even if we've died. Before we know, like what's happened to me, they know everything. So I said, you know I've got burned. She said, yeah, I can tell you exactly where you got burned and what day it was and what street you was on. So I said, okay. She said, yeah, but my body got steamed like your body did. I said, okay, so meaning just all her skin basically started rolling off her body.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't like third degree burns,
What?
but it was coming off.
What?
And she died from the hyperventilation. She started to have like anxiety attacks because
Mm-hmm.
of the fire and stuff, and she ended up having a heart attack. And she died holding her sister, so she wouldn't. She said my sister had the heat. There's a lot of word that don't want to come out. Her sister had, the same thing, but she didn't. She had a couple of burns, the same sting, but it wasn't severe like how she had it. She died because of the anxiety, and then she had an attack because I understood exactly what she was saying, to get burned and just not being able to get out of it, and just your skin is just falling off your body, but you can't do nothing about it. And your mom is outside screaming for you and screaming for your sister, and so it's like your heartbeat is racing high, your blood pressure is going up because just everything is happening so fast. So she died protecting her sister and hearing her mom scream for them to get out. She said, I just want them to know that I'm okay and I'm in a better place. And she wants her mom to know to stop crying for her, because to stop crying for her, because she's in a better place, and she needs to focus on raising up their sister. She needs to stop. The sister is older now. I don't know how far back it was. I didn't ask, but she made a statement saying, She said to tell her to love my sister and to let me go, because the daughter, I guess, feels like if the sister was there, her world, the mom wouldn't treat her like she do. Like she said, she's not violent to her, but she can tell she's always in that world of trying to piece it together on why she couldn't save her child. So when it comes to the baby, the little sister always trying to figure out why mom don't give me the attention that I need. It's not that she be like push her away or nothing like that, but it's just that the baby feels like maybe if my sister was here, life would be better. So she said to tell, I guess, whoever Chevy is, I don't know. She said tell Chevy to stop wondering what she could have done, because she just want them to know that she's okay, and she's going to want them to live life and know that she's doing fine, and she's going to a better place, and she wants them to live life and stop holding on to what they could have done or what they wish they did do. She just wanted to go to the other side, but she can't do it because they won't let her. Same thing that happened with me and my cousin. They won't let her go because they keep thinking about the tragedy. As long as they live that tragedy, the spirit is going to stay. But until they let that tragedy leave, get past that tragedy, which it's a hard thing to do for anybody with a child. But they have to accept the fact, or the mom has to accept the fact that she's gone, so that she can move on. And she said to tell Chevy, she said Chevy was her best friend. So just to tell her I love her, and we'll always be besties, because that's what they call each other. She said, tell her we'll always be besties. I said, is that all you want? She said, yep. I'm glad that I came to you, because now I know I can move on. I can finally cross over. I said, are you sure? She was like, yeah. She said, I can finally cross over. And she just vanished.
What was her name?
She didn't tell me. That's what I said. She didn't tell me none of that.
You don't know her name?
No. She just left me.
You don't know her sister name?
But she just told me. I asked her for names and everything. She said that's not important. She said, just tell your stepdaughter, Jayla. She said, just tell you. I said, well, how do I'm supposed to get involved or contact with these people if I don't know their names? She said, Jayla talks to them on Facebook all the time. So I had to tell Jayla who is the burnt up girl. Who's the girl that burnt up in the house, who's Chevy's best friend. I don't know who Chevy is. That's the only name she gave me was Chevy.
Yeah, Chevy's my niece. It was a picture of her hanging up in here from when she graduated from high school.
Oh, you took it down?
Yeah, because it needs a new frame. I mean, it wasn't in the frame. It was just
On
on
the
a
wall?
frame. No, it was
Oh.
on the frame. It was with the picture of Jaden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she said Jayla talked to her all the time.
Jayla talks to who?
Chevy.
Yeah, I mean, they cousins.
Oh, but see, baby, I don't know.
It's okay.
What's
It's
wrong.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I wonder why she just pinpointed Chevy out though the name. I don't know, cause I kept asking her, well, how am I supposed to know if I'm telling the right people? You know, I kept asking her like, who do you want me to tell this to? She was like, just tell Jayla. So,
Okay.
so I just tell Jayla in the morning to tell Chevy her and her mom that she's okay,
Okay.
and just to let the tragedy go so that she can move on.
And when did she come to you? She just came to you, or she came to you earlier?
No, just right before you woke me up. That's why I was jumping, because I was this. That's why I was so hot. See, now my body not hot, but when I go into the spirit world, I can actually feel the whole everything, the atmosphere, like the woman that was burning. I could feel her pain on her face, or the like the beatings of Amina. I could feel the pain. That's like the next day I woke up. I was like, I'm in so much pain. Like I got beat up, but I could feel it's not actually happening to me, but I could feel it. It's like, you know, when your muscles cramp.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I could feel everything in the spirit. I could feel it. It's like 10 times worse. You know how they say your spirit. Well, it says your spirit can feel. It's like on it.
Listen, I know this is your area of expertise, but I've been collecting knowledge about a lot of things for a long time.
Mm,
And one thing that I read about spirits, I mean, I don't always know if the information I'm getting is accurate or not.
mm,
But one thing I read about people,
mm,
and whatever happens to your body happens to your spirit. Your spirit has an aura or a glow around it. And when you're healthy, it's one color. But
mm,
when you're unhealthy or sick or dying,
mm,
it's another color.
mm,
It's a different color.
mm,
And it's like people can look at your spirit and tell if something is wrong with you.
mm,
So, and whatever happens to your body happens to your spirit.
mm.
So that's why when people bodies get damaged when they die and they come to you in spirit form, they're still not whole. They won't be made whole until after judgment.
Right. Okay, well, that makes sense.
So, like you said, my grandfather, even though he's with God and had to ask God's permission to come back to you, he still came back with a cloth covering his mouth,
Mm,
like he was still sick,
mm,
like he was before he passed.
mm,
And I don't know what was wrong with him. They called me when he was in the hospital, and I didn't know he had been in the hospital for a couple of days, so it was all new to me.
mm.
I ain't really had time to go see him or nothing, and I was just I ain't got to tell you how upset I was over that.
Yeah,
You done heard so many times. And that's crazy.
that's
But
crazy.
I don't remember. I mean, I do remember. I remember being so mad that I kicked in the door, but I don't remember what door. I don't remember if it was one of my doors or somebody else's.
Yeah, I don't know. He just showed
Yeah,
me.
it's okay. It's alright. He showed you me kicking in the door?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's alright too. But yeah, so to the best of my knowledge, whatever happens to your body in the physical is reflected in the spiritual. Because it's the same body. I mean, the spirit form is the best form. It seems like, I mean, from what I understand, you feel a lot heavier when you're in the physical.
Yeah.
But you're a lot lighter when you're just in spiritual form. But then again, that would kind of make sense because only a shadow of yourself.
Right.
So that would explain why you feel so heavy when you're in the physical and not so much in the spiritual world. Okay, thank you, baby. Was there anything else you wanted to say about that? That was the whole message.
Mm-hmm. She just want them to not to keep living the tragedy over and to stop talking about it.
Okay.
Because basically every time they think about it, which they're going to think about it, or every time they talk about it, it's like it starts all over again. In the spirit world, for her, it does. She goes through it all over again.
Wow. So every time they think about it, she has to relive it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's some new information. that's 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 something I think people need to know.
She said my mom thinks about it a lot. She said I relive it all the time. She said I'm tired of feeling it.
Okay. Alright, thank you, baby. We'll get that message out.